you are not cranked out of any machine. You have you've blazed your own trail in country music. Graycie York on with us today on the Yee Radio Podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. That's a compliment, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Yes, I think it's cool. There's a lot of great artists. We know that. We listen to them. We play them on Yee Radio. Mm-hmm. But there's not a lot, especially females, that I feel are just going, you know what? I'm going to do this thing my way. And you're doing that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying at least.
Where would you say your sound comes from?
It's a great question. I grew up listening to millions of different kinds of music because my dad loves, rock and country and everything. Like, he has very different tastes than anybody that I know. And my mom too, they both just love music. And so I grew up around all of that, hearing like Patsy Cline and Chris Stapleton and, all the older country people. I mean, Chris Stapleton's not, but all of the older country, I think, is really what inspired me, like Loretta, Dolly, Patsy, just people like that, I think. But I also wanted to just be like my own sound so that you can pick up on it and be like, oh, that's so-and-so, because people don't want the same person.
Well, all the ladies you mentioned too, they all did that too.
Yeah.
They blazed their own trail in a time that was much less friendly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loretta Lynn sings songs that you're like, whoa, I can't believe you sang that like during that time. I'm sure people were like, who is that? Like, what is she doing here? But it worked. So no complaints for her, I'm sure.
Where'd you grow up?
Rockwall,
Texas.
Born and raised in Rockwall, Texas.
That's by Dallas, right?
Yep. 30 minutes south of Dallas.
Northeast. No? Is it really south?
East. No.
East? Maps.
I'm
Stand
so
by.
bad at directions.
How'd you make it here today?
GPA. I almost said GPA. Oh my gosh. It's early.
When it tells you where to turn.
Yes, exactly.
I looked it up. I think it's northeast of Dallas.
Okay.
But you live there, so.
I know.
You follow the GPS to get to Dallas.
I do.
It seems like it's a Friday Night Lights town. Is it like that?
It's kind of like that. I mean, in high school we had, Friday night football games that are big, and our stadium's kind of big, so.
Yeah. As most are.
Yeah.
Especially that part of Texas.
Yeah. I would say it's like half Friday Night Lights. We're pretty serious about it, but not like our lives depend on it, and like we run the town by that, but it's halfway there. Does
it close down? Does the city close down on Friday nights?
No. People would go crazy if it closed down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in Rockwall, and it's kind of overwhelming now.
Is it?
There's, especially recently, a lot of people have moved there, and it's a lot.
Was it like that growing up?
No.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many people, but now there's a lot that are moving in, and it's like, okay, well, now the wait times at restaurants and to go places are like ridiculous. The lines at Walmart and Target and stuff, crazy.
A lot of people from California?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in my neighborhood. There's like a lot of
tags. Priuses. City boys.
Yeah. People that are in the left lane, that's my favorite lane, because I pedal to the metal.
Are you?
Unless you're a cop and you're listening, I don't pedal to the metal. I was just kidding. I don't do that. But they go really slow, and it's like 90 or nothing. Come on.
I think they're used to going slow. California is so full of people, they can't drive fast. Their car is not used to going over 60.
I went there one time. It was like 2 hours of traffic in like one spot. And I was like, okay, I just want to go to Disneyland and I want to get this over with. Like this is crazy, but yeah.
There's a lot of Graycie fans in California though too. The ones that are ready to get out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure I'd be ready to get out too. I couldn't do it. I couldn't live in the city like that. Just going into Dallas is enough for me. Going into Waco is way too much for me. Luckily, there was no traffic today. Thank the Lord. I could not do that today. But yeah, country in the heart.
Get out of the city.
Yeah.
That's your life, your speed. Tell me about your family. You have any brothers or sisters?
I don't. I'm an only child. Yes. Which I'm really thankful for because I'm really close with my parents, and
nice.
They have, a lot of extra time to just be with me instead of, having to split time and go with the siblings and everything. But with that being said, I have, family, friends, and just friends in general who are like my brothers and sisters, and people in music are my siblings that I never had. So
that's cool.
Nice.
What do your parents do?
So my mom works at the car dealership with me.
Okay.
And my dad works at a like truck and car accessory place. So like they put on like the campers and the lifts and the tents and all the stuff that the country boys want on their Ford F-250s and stuff.
I need to talk to your dad after this. I do need to lift it.
Okay, I'll give you his number.
Just a little bit. Nothing crazy.
Okay.
My wife's shorter. Okay. So she already complains about getting in the truck now. So I can imagine when I lift it, she's like, well, you're going to have to get me a ladder if you're going to lift this at all.
It's nice for me being a little bit taller.
I noticed that today's the first day we met. We've traded messages back and forth, but today's the first day, and like we're pretty close to the same height.
Yeah. I do have like a little bit of heel on, but I'm like 5'9" without the heels. So
me too, but I won't.
Yeah.
We don't have lifts in my shoes.
Yeah.
What you said you grew up listening to Patsy Cline and that. What was it about their music that helped shape what you're doing right now?
It just felt so real and raw, and like everything. I could feel what they were saying to me, and it felt like I was there and living that moment with them. And I remember like where I was the first time I heard Patsy Cline's voice, and like things like that is when I know that it's deeper. Like it hits me deeper than just, hearing something on the radio. I'm like, oh, I like that song. I was in the back of my grandparents' truck, and my Nana had turned on some CD of just like old Patsy Cline. And I remember her like sitting out the window, just like whistling and like clapping along or whatever. And I was like, who is this on the radio? And she's like, well, this is Patsy Cline. And we started listening to the whole thing. And I was like, that's my girl. Like, I love her.
What was it about it?
It's just, there was that, I don't even know how to explain it. Just kind of like, I felt it in my soul. I was like, I love Patsy Cline. And then I learned more about it, watched the movies and the documentaries about it, went to the little Patsy Cline Museum in Nashville. And I was like, yeah, she's the real deal. She just wasn't afraid. Like, she just, like you said, was paving her own path and doing her own thing. And she was just legendary. I wish she was still alive. I really do.
How old were you when you heard that?
Probably like 11.
Wow.
12. Something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe younger. I don't know. But
I'll think about what most kids are doing at 11 and 12.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not listening to Patsy Cline right now,
Sure.
but for you, something about that intrigued you.
It's just that older country, for whatever reason, just really set a fire in my soul. I was like, yes, I love this. This is great. This is real country, and it's amazing.
Did you know then, when you heard her, you're like, I think I want to do the same thing? Or was that later on?
I've always known.
Really?
Like, I have
like from the time
known. So I grew up, there's home movies of me on our little camcorder that we have.
Yeah.
And there's videos of me singing to like Kenny Chesney and Rascal Flatts, like in the bathtub, just like with my mom or somebody or my dad, and they're singing to me and I'm singing them back like this, all the words. And I'm like 2 years old, and they're like, you knew how to sing before you could even talk. Like, that's what everybody in my family always says. Like
melodies and things like that?
Like, it just always. And then Hannah Montana came into my life, and I was hooked. I was like, I'm going to be Hannah Montana.
Yep.
Nobody can stop me. I already have the blonde hair, so why not?
Yep.
And so I just was always singing, like all the time. And I was writing my own songs, and they weren't good. They were not good at all. I had one about a butterfly and catching it in a net, but having to let it go because it was mean to catch it in the net. I don't even know.
When are you putting this out?
Maybe sometime next year.
What's it called?
Be on the lookout. It's called Butterflies in a Net, everybody.
Butterflies in a Net. That actually sounds like a cool title for an album.
Maybe.
Whether you put the song on there or not,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of cool.
But I've just always known. And I've tried to think about other jobs, and like when people are like, well, you have to think about, backup plans and everything.
Plan
like,
B.
I don't have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to make it happen. And I was like, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do.
Did you teach yourself to play guitar?
I did.
Yeah.
I taught myself to play guitar, piano, and like ukulele, but I wasn't very good at ukulele, so I gave it up. But I took a couple years of piano class after I taught myself a little bit of it in high school because I had to. So that's,
How'd you teach yourself? Are you the YouTube generation? Did you watch
a little bit?
Okay.
I did like a couple lessons for like 20 minutes each, like 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I don't want to be here. So I left, and I probably should have stayed. It probably would have helped me a little bit more now, but it's okay. I think I just was watching other people do it and kind of picked up on it, or like looked up stuff and got books about it, and I don't even know. Like I blurred out that whole part of my life. I guess it's just a blackout. But
there was no YouTube when I was growing up, but I look at it now and I'm like, man, this would be the way for me to learn.
Yeah, it's nice to have obviously technology has its positives and its negatives,
Sure.
but that's definitely positive is you can look up things so easily now and learn.
So you knew from the time you said before you could talk, do you think you kind of knew then that that's what you wanted to do?
Oh, yeah.
To be a singer?
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't even, and I mean, if you listen to it, I could not carry a tin in the bucket, which is so funny because it just obviously is not the same now, but I knew, like I always wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
I had my microphones or like the ones that go on your ear and
Yep.
like Hannah Montana, and I just was always doing it.
Before Hannah was Garth Brooks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he kind of set the trend. I'm sure there was somebody before him too, though. But
Yeah, the pictures of him and his like pearl snaps and his
Yep.
little thing, and he's like flying around the auditorium. Yeah.
yeah. Who's your favorite concert to go to?
Ooh.
Because you were too young to see a Patsy Cline show.
Right. Oh, that would have been so good.
Right.
I've been to so many. That's my thing with me and my parents too. Like we love concerts.
Do you?
Especially me and my dad.
Yeah.
My dad has been to so many, and I think I've been to like over 70 plus concerts now, and there's been so many that are so good. I went to Adele.
How was that?
Oh my gosh. She's one of my favorites. She's one of my idols, and I cried the entire time. Like I was crying so hard, the lady next to me was like, "Can I give you a hug?" Like you have been crying all night. And I was like, I know, it's just because like I'm right here with her.
You're feeling all of it.
And it's Adele. Like how can you not? Which I'm so excited for that new album.
How long ago was this Adele show?
It actually was, it came up on my memories. It was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank God for mine are not necessarily, I don't put everything on Facebook, but I back up everything. And where I back it up to always reminds me daily of what if, whatever that day was and now it's up to 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been that long, and I'll get stuff and oh my gosh, I've totally forgot about that. Or I felt like that was more recent than it really was.
Yes. Yeah. Time is going a lot faster, it seems like, every day.
It's helping the Matrix. Me and the Matrix having the flashbacks to be able to really tell what time is.
Yeah.
How do you overcome maybe self-doubt as you've grown up through everything that you'd have to, the challenges of just the music business in general, and then like the people that you looked up to, like I said, are ones who've blazed their own trail, and kind of feel like you're doing a little bit of that. You don't sound like the 14 other girls before you. How do you overcome some of the normal human being self-doubt of going, is this really for me? Am I really going to be able to do this?
It's definitely hard. It's not, especially with social media.
Yeah.
Again, like I said,
good and
pros
bad.
And
Right.
But there's always that self-doubt and like that little voice in your head that's like, it's not going to work out. Like, obviously there's thousands of other people that are doing the exact same thing and trying to be the exact same thing that you are. So what makes you think that you're going to be any better? And yeah. But I think the biggest thing for me, and what I really like about Ye especially, is like they don't care that people know about their faith, and neither do I.
Yep.
I'm a big believer, and I think that if I'm meant to do it, that God's gonna help me get there.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get there eventually if that's what I'm meant to do. And so I think that's my biggest like help over the self-doubt, is just reminding myself like, if it's meant to be, it's gonna be, because that's what He wanted it to be. But also just the people that I'm surrounded with, my family, my friends, are the best at just helping lift each other up and, keeping you on the ground, but also just being like, you know what, you can do this. Like, you are here already, so keep going. And obviously the self-doubt's always probably going to be there, unfortunately, but
that's just human nature.
Yeah. But that's my main thing, is like, if I'm meant to be there, I'm going to be there.
I have self-doubt in interviews.
Yeah.
It's interviewing other people, which is what I feel like I've done my entire life. When you're growing up in Rockwall, you're in high school, you're in middle school, you know that you want to be a singer. Tell me what that was like for you.
Well, I did talent shows.
Yeah.
And
Like school talent shows or like
school talent shows. Okay. And it would just be like a minute of like one song because that's how long they. And I was like, well, you didn't even let me get to the good part.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I didn't even get to sing that chorus, or it was just like that first verse. And
you saw some of the people though that only needed a minute. You're like, okay, we've had enough of that.
That's for sure. Yeah, I was like, are you sure you wanted to sing this song? Like I couldn't go for something different. But I did the talent shows, and in middle school I really didn't do much for music. I mean, I sang all the time and stuff, but there wasn't much to do for music in middle school.
Yeah.
And so I tried sports and everything. Not my jam.
No?
No.
Nothing?
No.
You're tall, so no basketball or volleyball?
I tried out for both of those. I went to summer camps for both of them.
Oh, really?
And basketball camp, I got sick and I couldn't finish it, so I didn't even try out for basketball because I was like, whatever. And volleyball, I tried out for volleyball, didn't make the team. Okay. So I said, you know what? Sports are not for me.
I'm out.
And gotta go. I'm gonna go play guitar now in my room. And which now I played volleyball the other day and I actually liked it and I was pretty good at it. I was like, where was this in middle school? Like,
but if you had done it in middle school, do you think, and you'd been good at it, would you have chased the music career as hard as you did?
Oh yeah.
Really? Even if you were good at volleyball?
I would just do volleyball just to like kill time and hang out with my friends. That's what I was doing it for anyway.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It didn't work out, so I was like, okay, I guess that.
I just thought that maybe if you had ended up being good at it, you'd be, I've got to choose between the two, and my friends are here, I'll go do that. No. You know that you wouldn't have.
No, I know for sure to still be
good music. For you.
In high school, like I said, I was in piano. I did choir. Didn't like choir.
You don't like singing with other people, or?
I like singing with other people, but it's just I didn't like singing like that style of music, I guess. It just wasn't for me and my voice. It was a fun time. Like I met a lot of people through it, but I just wasn't my jam, I guess. And so then I did piano for the 3 years after that. And I loved my piano class because my teacher was amazing. And I still talk to her sometimes, and she's the coolest. I hardly ever really played piano, honestly. I just messed around, and she was like, can you do something? And I was like, listen, I don't want to. Like, because it was like the last class of my day. So I was like, I don't want to sit here. I just want to go home. Like,
it's hard to get motivated for something that doesn't just naturally motivate you too, right? I mean,
and I wanted to play like songs.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to play Adele, and I wanted to play country songs, and I had to play classical book songs. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like,
that's the reason I left college. Is I had a scholarship, and I went for a while, but it was all symphony. Mm-hmm. And it was like, this has nothing to do with anything that I want to do in my life. Right. Why am I doing this? Is that how you felt too?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But I started doing like my open mics and stuff in high school, at the end of my high school, and people didn't care. Like in high school, nobody cared.
Nobody cared that you sang?
Yeah, not really, unless it was my friends.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they're the best. But yeah, nobody cared. There was another girl that I went to school with who's now in Nashville. Her name's Erin Kinsey, and she's actually doing really well. She just had a couple songs that blew up on TikTok, and they're both really, really good.
Oh, that's cool. Same town?
Yeah, same high school, same town. I think she's a grade above me. Okay. And I remember seeing her once in the hallway, and she was already like going to Nashville and stuff while we were in high school, and still nobody really cared. I was like, okay, guys, thanks for the support.
Yeah, no kidding.
But now,
yep,
the people are starting to roll back in, and I'm like,
they're asking for free tickets.
Where are you at?
Exactly.
Where are you at? I was like, I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Especially right now, if you're opening up for somebody that they like to, you get those phone calls.
It was Cody Johnson for me. When I got to open for Cody Johnson a couple weeks ago, I had a bunch of people rolling in the DMs, and I was like,
hey, remember me?
I was like, this is what we're not going to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. I mean, just working in radio. Oh, you must get tickets to everything. Yeah. Like, I get tickets for me.
Yeah. Not for you, for me.
I'll go.
They're under my name.
Tell me about writing. What's writing like for you?
So, I'm going to be honest. I've said this before. A lot of my songs, I don't remember writing them. I don't know why. It's just like they appeared. They were just there. There's certain songs that like have cool backstories to them that, I mean, but for the most part, I don't remember them. Like, I don't remember sitting down to write them. I think maybe because I didn't finish them all at like the same time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I kind of just write whenever I feel like I need to write. I don't like to pressure myself into writing because nothing will come out.
So you don't get up, have breakfast, cup of coffee, and go,
No.
I'm writing today.
No, I can't do that because it just won't happen. I don't know. And
Have you tried that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've tried it.
And you're like, this doesn't work for me.
I'm like, I can't.
Do you get sidetracked?
Yeah. I really do. Oh, very easily. I'm like, oh, maybe I got to go on the computer and do this really quick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what was I doing? And I was like, no, I'll just try to write later. I usually write better at night anyway. I don't know. I just don't like to force it because it doesn't feel natural for me.
You just feel inspired when it's time.
I like think the time that I write the most is when I'm driving in the car, and I'll just like sing something in my head. I'm like, oh, that's actually really good. And
Thank God for voice memos.
That's what I'm saying. Mine are filled.
Are they?
They're filled. And my mom was like, you need to like get some storage space going. And I was like, it's my voice memos and my pictures, but
Sure.
my voice memos. And she's like, well, you can't get rid of those. I was like, no. I was like, there might be some good stuff in there. You don't want me to delete it?
Yeah.
And she was like, fine.
Make sure you back it up too.
I know. I need to do that actually.
Is there anything in particular that you've noticed that inspires you to write?
Well, I write really sad songs.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah.
My go-tos. So obviously, Heartbreak.
It's because you feel like Patsy did that too.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
She did. And all of her really sad ones are my favorites. But those, and then I really like to write about other people's lives and like my friend, because I have a couple songs that I've written more recently that are not about me. They're about my friends and their relationships and their heartbreak, and because I think it's fun. I'm like, I don't have to write about me. Like, this song is about me.
So you're their outlet, and then they're your inspiration. Mm-hmm. You give them a writing credit?
No.
No, I paid in full when I sat and listened to your story.
I wrote one of the songs and I played it for her the next day after I wrote it, and she started sobbing. And I was like, oh no, that's either you really, really love it or you really hate it and I can't ever record it. And she was like, no, I really love it. And I was like, whew. Okay, good, because so did I. And I was like, I really wanted to record it. So
Have you recorded it yet?
I haven't yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't, but I'm going to.
What's the name of it?
Just Another Night, I think. I don't know. I'm still kind of iffy on the name.
Okay.
But I think that's what it is.
I just want to know so we know when it comes out. We'll go, oh,
Yeah.
remember we talked about that.
I really want to do like
We can play this sound clip before the song. Yeah.
I really want to do like an acoustic EP.
Yeah.
I kind of want to hop on that bandwagon. Kind of like a Muscadine Bloodline or like a Cat Hasty kind of thing, where it's just my saddest songs. Because I really have a lot of sad songs, which sounds terrible.
But you're a happy person.
Yeah.
That's where you seem
Sometimes.
like a happy person.
I'm pretty happy.
Okay.
I have no reason to be sad, so I'm pretty happy.
Because you got it all out in the song. You're like, yeah, done. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm happy now.
I have a bunch of sad songs that I want people to hear.
Yeah.
But they're more personal to me, and I just feel like they deserve to be on their own little sad acoustic EP than on like a full-length album, like fully produced.
Do you like acoustic overproduced music?
I wouldn't say overproduced music because I really do love getting in the studio and doing like full band stuff and like hearing it come to life.
Yeah.
But like with my latest release, Whiskey, I did the full band and the acoustic version, and I really loved that because people were asking for both, and so I was like, well, it's not too hard to record an acoustic version too, so let's do that too. And
I love the intro of that song too.
Oh.
Take 7,200
Oh
whatever
yeah,
it was.
my little British voice. Yeah. It just kind of rolls off the tongue, and so my producer, he was like, do you want to keep that in? I was like, absolutely.
Of course.
I was like, duh.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, are you sure? And I was like, yes, we're keeping it in. He was like, okay. So he's also my drummer, so we're together all the time, and it's a lot of fun. And we can read each other really well. So I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, you know what this needs? And he's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's exactly what I was going to say. And it works out. It's like
That's
magic.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you look 5 years into the future, where do you see this train taking you?
It's a great question. I have no idea. I don't really think too much into the future. like, obviously I have my goals and my dreams and like stuff that I want to achieve, but I don't know where I see myself.
Yeah.
I like to say just, wherever the Lord's going to take me and like wherever I end up, but I have no idea. Obviously I want to keep doing music and playing shows and, growing a fan base and releasing more music, but that's like where I draw the line. Like, I don't see myself in the future. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't, my mind doesn't.
You don't have a place to go, man, I want to make sure that I played here.
Yeah,
here,
for
here.
sure.
You do that?
Yeah, but I just don't know like where I'm going to be in 5
Yeah.
years, But like I definitely have like my goals and stuff, like places to play.
Where's the one place that you haven't played yet that you're like?
It sounds so weird because it's not even like a crazy place, but Dos Equis Pavilion in Dallas.
Sure.
Because I've seen so many concerts there. Like
Right.
it has been the go-to concert place. That and American Airlines Center.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen so many of my favorite artists there that I feel like the day if I ever get to play it, I'm just gonna be like, what is my life? Like, this is crazy. And so definitely that place. Either that or American Airlines. I think either day I would probably cry.
So if both those happen in the next 5 years,
I'll be crying in the corner of happiness. But yeah, that'd be crazy.
And writing another sad song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Always writing sad songs. I'm trying to get some happy ones out there.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard.
We've been playing Texas Rain for a while on Yee Radio.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just started playing Whiskey with the wrong artwork, which thank you for bringing that to my attention. I had just seen it too. It's so weird that sometimes it pulls random artwork and we have no idea why. Mm-hmm. And I don't. Which one was it that it actually pulled artwork for you?
So it's actually not even my song.
Right, that's what I mean. It had nothing to do with you. The artwork didn't.
So it did, because it's Parker Ryan.
Okay.
I did harmonies on that song.
Stop.
And so it says
That's the artwork.
It says featuring Graycie York on it.
And it just saw your name and pulled that artwork.
I guess. Because on Apple Music, that's like
so
my
weird.
second most played song. And it pops up on my Apple Music thing. Like on my
But at least it could have went and pulled Texas Rain.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it and I was like,
so weird.
That's not right.
Yeah, don't pay attention to the artwork on Yee Radio. It's still being sorted out. Music.
Just listen to the music.
Exactly. But Whiskey, really good. I mean,
you.
yes, another sad song, but it's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't write it by myself, so that was actually one of my first co-writes that I ever did, and it was with Colby Cooper. And
yeah,
went to Colby's house. His little kids were running around. The one, still baby, but she, his wife, was there too, and I got to meet her, and they were all so sweet. And then Colby and I went upstairs, and he has this little music room, all of his vinyl records and everything, super cool. It was like 2 hours that we got in, and even Chipotle break in the middle, like got the song done. Like we wrote it. And
is that
got
quick?
It done.
Is 2 hours quick for you?
It felt pretty quick to me.
Yeah. But compared to your other songs.
Well, from having nothing but a title, and then completing the whole song, I feel like that's pretty quick. Because I've done other co-writes where we get half a song in like 4 hours. Yeah. I was like, well, okay, guess I'll just go on with half this song. But yeah, no, it went really, really well. And I mean, Colby had the idea for Whiskey, and he was like, I really want to write a song about this. And I was like, I love that idea. Let's go. Got it done. He was like, do you want to cut it? And I was like, duh. Like, absolutely. He was like, okay, it's yours. And I was like, yes. Yeah. So it's turned out great, and I'm so excited that it's finally out.
Well, I'm glad that he did. I'm glad you guys did.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing it with us, and thanks for sharing this time today.
Yeah.
Appreciate you hanging out on the podcast. Can't wait to hear more from you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.